Hello, today's topic is types of reading. Before we move on to the types of reading, let us look into what reading is. Now, here I have given definition from Cambridge. It is to look at words or symbols and understand what they mean. You look at something like, for example, the screen, you see some symbol, something, you first identify letters, letters become words, words become sentence, which convey meaning. After all this, only reading is complete. Moving on to the types of reading. Classification can be done based on many things and is done by many people. However, here I have given the major classification that is popular among the academia. So these are those main four types: skimming, scanning, intensive reading, extensive, or also called as speed reading. You might be familiar with most of these words, and the explanation of each type is also closely related to the meanings that you know. Now let us go deeper into each of these types. First of all, skimming. As given here, it is to understand the gist or the main idea. Like when you need to get an overview of a text, for example, while selecting a book to buy, you need to have a general idea. For that, you will not go in deeper into the book. You will look into the title and maybe few other pages like the content page. Another example, it is while going through the headlines of a newspaper. Instead of reading each and every news in detail, you will be simply going through the headlines just to get an idea of what the important news are. So in these two examples, you are simply getting the gist of it or the summary of it, of the content of the text. So that is skimming. Now moving on to the next one, scanning. Scanning is something you do when you want to find a particular piece of information. You can understand it from the examples given here. The first one, looking up a word in a dictionary or searching for a particular content in a text to learn. In both cases, you are not reading the entire text. In the first example, you are ignoring all other words and just concentrating on the word for which you need the details or the meaning. For the second case, imagine that you are trying to do a homework, whichever portion that is given for you to do, you will be searching for that particular content, read that and do the homework. So that is scanning, looking for something particular in a bulk of text. Moving on to the next one, intensive reading. This is accurate reading for detailed understanding. The best example is studying for exams. You will be going through each and every word of it, what is the meaning, what it conveys. You will try to analyze it completely, understand it completely. In the second example also, reading for research purposes, you will be trying to understand every bit of information that you can gather from the text. So you will be reading it intensely. That is why it is intensive reading. You try to not miss out on any information in this one. Now let's move on to the next one, extensive or speed reading. Extensive reading is basically reading for pleasure or general understanding, like for killing time or for entertainment. For example, you are waiting in a waiting room or somewhere. Usually in such places there will be magazines kept on the teapot, and those magazines are basically kept there for killing time. So you'll be just going through the magazines like in the previous case. You'll not be giving the full concentration that you give while you do intensive reading. And the same thing for reading for entertainment. Say for example, you love to read and you're traveling, most probably you'll be buying a magazine or a newspaper or a book of some kind. In that case also, you definitely will read the entire text, but your concentration is not on analyzing it. Hence, you will be missing out on things. Say you have read a novel before, try to go and read it once again. You will see that you have missed out on something. It might be a tiny thing, but there are chances that you will miss out on things. That is why it is speed reading. So that is extensive or speed reading. Now before we move on, let me talk about something else also. There is something else called as fast reading. Now skimming and scanning comes under fast reading. In speed reading, you are going through the entire text. In fast reading, you are not going through the entire text. Now, while talking about reading, we have to talk about something else also, which is reading between lines. Reading between lines is trying to understand someone's real feelings or intentions from what they say or write. In other words, understanding the implied meaning. First, for easy understanding, let us talk about real life examples. The examples I have given here is from real life. Sarcasm or teasing. Your words will mean literally something, but the intended meaning behind it will be just the opposite. That is sarcasm. In real life, as well as while reading a text, sometimes silence also talk a lot. A pause, a silence. While reading, you might have come across the three dots. Those three dots are for filling as per the imagination of the reader. Otherwise, also, like you're saying something and you're implying something else, and sometimes you are not saying anything, that silence, that blank, whatever is left there, that will have another meaning. So, that is reading between lines. That's all for types of reading. Now, before you go, if you liked my video, please don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon. Thank you.